Hey, welcome to the X3 One Topic, 3 pundits, including me, John C. Dvorak. I'm here with Andrew Eisner and Joe Engo, and we're going to discuss, here's the headline for the day: Cisco flip-flops or flip-flopped on flip cameras. So Cisco, I guess it was a year or two ago, that they buy Flip, which is a very popular little camera that people like.
Many millions of dollars.
Yeah,
it's like 500 million or something.
Yeah, they spend a fortune on this thing for this little camera that people can. And
it's a great product. I love it.
It's a nice little product, you know, and it's anyone can use it. It's like, and it sticks into your USB port, and it's a very handy and it's a nice little movie maker. Now they're going to just decide that they don't like it, that we made a mistake, and they're just going to dump it, or they're going to try to sell it, or they fired 500 people.
Well, the problem is that all these smartphones now, they can do 1080p video. Some of them even can do 60 frames a second now. And the video is even better than a flip cam. So what do you want the flip cam for? I mean, the flip cam, in my opinion, still holds a value because you could just quickly pull it out and push a button and you're silent recording. With an iPhone or whatever, you have to go through the menus, you have to switch to video and all that kind of crap.
Right.
But
yet another product, the smartphone is killed. Well, I mean, that's a good point. The smartphone is killing cameras, it's killing GPS.
It's not killing any cameras I use.
Well, no, okay, but the fact is, Cisco's been under a lot of pressure. Their stock has been down. They're sort of they're being charged with losing focus on the.
Why did they buy it in the first place?
Well, they bought Linksys first. I mean, they thought that they were getting into the consumer market. They thought this would give. And actually, did you hear the story that originally they bought Flip because they loved the interface so much they were going to apply that simplicity to the router, which was typically a very complicated product to get. But
well, the Linksys thing is interesting to me. First, you have this low-end router scene with Netgear, D-Link, and Linksys were the big three, and then there's a bunch of also RANs and some actually better equipment by other people. But those guys are dominating the situation. So they buy Linksys, and they. What did they expect to accomplish? For one thing, it takes out the low end of their own product line. Cisco does make routers, we know.
Well, but these are consumer level.
Yeah, but there's actually no. But there was some low. Cisco was about to bring out some cheapy low end routers. They weren't as cheap as a Linksys, but it was competitive.
Well, most consumers at home, they want cheap. They want a $40 router. They don't want to spend $200-300.
So okay, so that begs the question, because I was just recently at Fry's looking around, and I was looking for a little USB thing I could plug into the back of a thing that had a 802.11 connection, and I'm looking at all the different ones. I ended up buying a Zotan or a Zotar. It's actually a pretty good product because it was the cheapest. Yes, again, just like you said, it was $19. And meanwhile, they had all the other ones, and they had, I think, Linksys was like heads and shoulders more expensive than anything else anybody made under any circumstances.
But Linksys is still an extremely popular brand. I mean, everybody I know, as soon as they go out to buy a router, they just buy Linksys. They don't even think anything else.
But this is part of the problem that Cisco has too, is that they're also getting pressure from the Junipers and the other switching companies that are coming in and undercutting them. So their profit, they're used to making these huge profit margins. They're giving up market share now to some of the other switching companies, and I guess Flip just got in the way. But this is also.
Well, I think Linksys did. They're going to drop Linksys.
Yeah.
I mean, on the high-end, switching market. I mean, you're totally correct on that. Yeah. When we were, looking at, switching equipment
now,
for our colo,
yeah.
I mean, Cisco was almost 3 times the cost of the equipment that we ended up purchasing. And the competitor that we went with, there's like 5 or 6 other competitors that are just as good, that are just far less than Cisco. Like, how do they compete? Well, the way they compete is by just government contracts. That's what they're relying on at this point.
How about dropping the price?
Well, I mean, that would be a great idea, but unfortunately, they're not going to do that.
But you know what Cisco's into now in a big way is video conferencing, and
their video conferencing stuff is not competitive.
Well, but this is they're betting a lot on the fact that people are going to want to do more video conferencing. In fact, they're all video conferencing within the company. They video conference even meetings within the company.
Well, I was
but that's all software. I mean,
I was at CES, and they had one of the special little side events. They had all these different companies, and one of them was Cisco showing this the consumer video conferencing system. I think everyone's going to use.
Which is typically overpriced.
It's very overpriced, and it requires everybody in the conference to have the exact same equipment, which is a drawback when you can Skype, which is free, is really the competition, and I don't see that they.
Cisco should have bought Skype.
And Apple.
If they're going to buy, instead of Flip, they should have spent a few $100 million more for Skype.
I mean, Apple's definitely taken the right approach with it. They've taken existing technologies, bundled them together, called it FaceTime. They've said that they're going to be open sourcing it. They haven't quite done it yet, but eventually they're going to be opening it, so Android devices can just talk directly to iPhones and your computer and everything else. And I think that's the right way to go. I mean, Cisco getting behind the video video teleconferencing, there's no point because they're a hardware manufacturer. This is all software. There's nothing interesting going on here hardware-wise.
They're moving data.
Maybe if they come up with a new codec.
So what is Cisco going to do to save itself?
That's a good question. I mean, they're going to have to drop their prices and sell more switches, I guess, and who knows?
Maybe they have something up their sleeve.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope so. You've been watching X3.